Okay, so I suppose you can start. First of all, I want to thank you for joining this training. It's a webinar about UltraPath function of the OceanStor Dorado. Basically, this function can work also on other Dorado, but for today we will discuss about the OceanStor Dorado v6. I will also show you some settings and some useful links for the OceanStor Dorado UltraPath, but in our lab, I will show you for Dorado v3. Because for the moment we don't use Dorado v6 in the lab, but in the future we will use it, and maybe we'll make another trading for this function in Dorado v6. So let's start. First of all, I will present myself. My name is Mihai Raul Ciolac, and I'm working in Huawei for about 3 years. And I'm specialized in OceanStor, but also in the cloud. I'm engineer with experience in network also, but when I joined Huawei, I suppose that I wanted to make a change. So that's why I joined the storage department. It was something new for me, but after some time, I managed to pass the HCIE storage and also the HCIE cloud. And right now I'm about to pass the third HCIE, and this is HCIE intelligent computing. I think this is something new also for me, but I already passed the written exam and I'm about to pass the lab exam. So that's all with me, and now we will discuss some description about what we will learn in this training. I used to call him training because I made training in the past for partners, and this is the word I want to use. It's not the webinar, but because you will learn something technical, not just some description about this function. Maybe you already know that Huawei already developed his own function for multipathing, and this name is called UltraPath. Other name for other vendors like Microsoft, like other, this name is different, but we use it to call it UltraPath. So as I mentioned, this is developed 100% by Huawei. We will see how the multipathing software is useful in our scenario, how the multipath software can be installed and uninstalled, and from where you can find the UltraPath function and UltraPath software on our website. But also I will tell you how to install it, how to configure it, and for what is useful this UltraPath function. UltraPath provides the powerful function and features which ensure secure, stable, and fast service operation. In this section, we will introduce the basic principle of function of the UltraPath. As I mentioned, we see here what we will talk about. It's about major function, useful links where UltraPath can reside on our website. In the end, we have a session with question and answer where you can answer. I have 3 questions for you. Those questions are based on what we will learn today. So you should answer if you pay attention to this course. We will start with positioning of the multipath software. What is multipath software and what is used for? In this picture, we have single point of failure. As you can see in the left side, we have this scenario where the multipath software is not used. We don't speak here about UltraPath or other vendors. It's about multipath. So in case of without using multipath, you can see that with single point of failure, it means if a component of the network it's breakdown, it's faulty, you will lose the services. So this is not what customer or other partners want to do. So with using multipath software, we can see in the right side that even if one failure of the point it's faulty, we can see that we have redundancy. This means that the services will not be impacted if the single failure will appear. So the service will continue to run. This is the major function of the multipath software. This is what he can do. Another thing is that Multipath software can do load balancing. Load balancing is a critical function for Multipath software. The common load balancing algorithm include round robin, queue depth, and minimum task. In the left side, also you can see the link bottleneck. It means that with just one link, the performance is not so well. So I don't think we want that. In the right side, you can see using Multipath software, you can see how this is working. And for sure, with 3 ways, we have a good performance. So also, not just the performance is better, but also the we have redundancy here, and also the in case of the impact, we have other way that our array can use. So it will not be impacted if of case of one failure. Here we have the mainstream multipath software, how they are called with different vendors and also in our vendor. In Huawei, the name, as I told you, is UltraPath. But before using UltraPath, I suggest you to use our software, compatibility software, where you can check before using in the data center. We can check how you can use it, which operating system it's supported, and how you can install it on that operating system. I used to saw some customer in the past, which even if the our website was not show that it's UltraPath it's supported for another operating system, but they are already installed it, and they told me that even if in your website is not supported, I use it and it's supported. Okay, but for the moment, what you can see in our website is just what we already tested, and we guarantee that customer will not have any impact on his data center. Maybe it's working, but we don't suggest even if it's working. We don't suggest. After we will upgrade the website and after we make some tests with our R&D, maybe we'll upgrade the website and we'll put that software will be supported. So I will show you now what I'm talking about supported website. Just a second. I want to show directly our compatibility website. Also, you will see the HBA card which is supported in your case. So it's better to have all this information before applying on the website, and also before implementing in the data center. When you open it, by default, you should be logged in with your account, because otherwise we will not able to see all this information. So you should log in first, and by default, it's used Dorado v6. You can use the UltraPath, or you can check the compatibility between your server, your storage, and your HBA card, also with other storages, not just Dorado v6. We can use it with OceanStor v5, we can use Dorado v3, but in our case, we will use Dorado v6 because this is this training about. So we will choose Multipath software. But let's suppose that we have an operating system like Windows Server. This is just an example. You can choose other operating system, but in our case, we will choose Windows Server 2019. So we want to know which multipathing software is supported for this server, but also we want to be sure which host bus adapter HBA card it is supported for this. So we have a question in the end. In the end of this training, it will have a question where you can answer. So you should pay attention on this. Okay, let's find out which multipathing software we can choose. So we have Huawei, which is UltraPath, and other vendors which is MPIO, which is Microsoft, but we will choose UltraPath. When you are using all the equipment for Huawei from Huawei, and I mean here about the OceanStor and about the switch between them, about the server, we suggest to use UltraPath, not other multipathing software. But also other multipathing software is supported. For better performance, we suggest you to use UltraPath. We have the server which is supported. We have the OS which is supported because we already choose it, the kernel version, and we are talking about HBA card, which can be supported and we can be reside on the server side where the Windows is installed. So this is the HBA card already installed in the server. So this type of HBA cards are supported between our Dorado V6 and our server. And the function which is supported is UltraPath. The storage server is 600011012. I think it's all the Dorado version supported already. But if you want to use another Dorado, maybe we don't have in the data center Dorado V6 for the moment, we can choose the compatibility between another version of Dorado. For example, we will choose Dorado 5000 V3 because I will show you in the lab how to set the initiator and how to choose if you want on the host site, if you want to use multipathing software or UltraPath software, what you should enable and what you should disable. For Dorado V6, it's a little bit different when you try to set the UltraPath to work for this. It's not complicated. I will show you in the guide, and I will also share with you all this information on the email in the end of the training. I will show you the guide how to configure UltraPath for Dorado V6 and the guide how to configure the UltraPath for Dorado V3. Because the Dorado V6 has changed the device manager web interface. It's a little bit different. And also the settings for UltraPath, they are not the same like Dorado V3. That's why we have different guide and I will share with you. But in the lab, I will show you for Dorado V3. So we choose the OceanStor Dorado V3. We choose the multipathing software that we want to use. So you can see first, let's choose the operating system. I want to use Microsoft, so Windows Server 2019, the same like before. And multipathing software, Huawei UltraPath, and submit. The OceanStor Dorado V3 which is supported, in our case is V3R1 and V3R2. And we can see here the Q logic which are supported. I told you in the past, some customer used to tell me that he used different host bus adapter and different operating system and was supported and is working well. It's great, but we don't recommend to do that until we will upgrade our website. But you can tell us if you have some different scenario where you can use, you have different operating system, different HBA, and you want us to test and we want us to upgrade our website. Okay, you can send us an email and we will create for you an RM This RM is based on your information. We will collect your information. We will collect all the details that you want to implement. We will go in our lab. We will test, and we'll after we will make some more tests with success. We will upgrade the website, and we will inform you that the RM was approved and it can be implemented based on your configuration. Even if it's not on our website, you can send us an email and we will implement it. Because customers have different scenario, different data center, different servers, application, and we will use customer requirements all the time. So now let's go back to our meeting. We was talking before about the multipathing software which is supported and which are named or different name in other vendors. In Microsoft, for example, is the name is MPIO, but we are talking here about the UltraPath developed by Huawei. This is the overview of Huawei UltraPath. UltraPath is a type of filter driver software running in the host kernel. It can be managed and process this creation, deletion, and I/O delivery of the operating system. On the AIX and VMware HCIE platform, UltraPath is implemented based on the Multipath framework of the operating system. For example, UltraPath for AIX is a kernel driver developed based on the MPIO of the AIX operating system. The major function of the UltraPath are masking of redundant LANs. In a redundant storage network, an application server with no multipath software detects on a LAN on each path. Therefore, a LAN mapped into the multiple path is mistaken for two or more different LANs. A redundant LAN exists because of each path reports a LAN directly to an application server. Another function of the UltraPath is optimum path selection. To ensure service continuity and stability, a storage system is generally equipped with two or more controllers to implement redundancy parts. Each LAN in a storage system has its own controller, and no other controller can perform an operation of the LAN, preventing data corruption due to possible controller conflicts. I mean here, if an application server wants to create a LAN through owning controller, this access request is still redirected to the owning controller. In a multipath environment, the owning controller of a LAN on the application server that corresponds to the LAN on the storage array is called the prior controller of the LAN. The highest I/O speed occurs when application server with UltraPath inside access the LAN on the storage system through the prior controller. As the UltraPath is able to acquire owning control information, it can automatically select one or more optimum path. Another function of the UltraPath is the failover. When a path fails, UltraPath fails over its services another function path. As I showed in the previous image, in case of the one failure, if you have just one link, it means that you have no redundancy. It means that you are not using multipath, and the services is impacted. Another function for the UltraPath is I/O load balancing. UltraPath provides load balancing within a controller and across controllers. For load balancing within a controller, I/O pool among all paths of the controller. Another function of the UltraPath, you can be called the minimum queue depth. What does it mean? It means that UltraPath calculates the number of the I/O queuing in each path and deliver new I/O to the path with minimum number of the I/Os. The path with shortest I/O queuing has the priority to send new I/Os. Another function is the path test. UltraPath used to test the following the paths. Faulty paths. UltraPath tests faulty paths with a high frequency to detect the paths recover as soon as possible. And idle available paths. UltraPath tests its idle paths to identify faulty paths in advance. Preventing unnecessary I/O retries, the test frequency is kept low to minimize impact of the service I/O, but this is also used to implement a better performance. We have here the redundant solution without using Multipath software. In the left side, the connection between array and the server, you can see that it's using HBA. It's already implemented this. Before implementing this, as I show in the website, it's already checked the compatibility. So I think it's already implemented with success. In case of a single failure, a single link failure, we can see that the services are impacted. So the reconstruction and restarting the services, it will take so much time if you have this implemented without Multipath software. In case of multipathing software, we have the redundancy solution. In the left side, we can see that it's a bit different. We have not just one link, we have many links, which it's called that we have redundant. So in case of one link failure, the services are not impacted. We will discuss about multipath software built in operating system like Windows, an operating system like Solaris, AIX, Linux, and ESXi. For the beginning, we will discuss about the multipathing software developed and used in the Windows. Multipath used in the Windows is called MPIO, and it's a framework that allows storage vendor to develop multipath solution that contain the hardware-specific information used for optimizing connection to storage devices. The MPIO can also be used independently, helping implementing the load balancing, optimal path selection, and as I told you before, failover between storage devices and host. The multipath software built in Solaris, it's STMS, is a multipathing software based on the MPIX-IO framework. It registers functional entities through the interface provided by the MPIX-IO. Solaris STMS masks physical LANs after virtual LANs are generated. So only virtual LANs can be viewed using the format command. And for the load balancing, we have round robin and the option known. So known and round robin are supported for the load balancing, just these two functions. The multipathing software for Solaris, for AIX. The AIX 5.3 and later version employ the MPIO mechanism to support interconnection between a storage array and a host through multiple paths. In addition, a LAN is presented as a device on the host. If you want to use the MPIO to manage Huawei devices, you should install developed AIX. This is our lab. You should install the Huawei developed AIX ODM tool on the server to configure the ODM library. All this information and all this package, you can find them in our website. And let me show you what I'm talking about our website and what I'm talking about finding UltraPath in our website. First, you should be logged in because without this, we will not be able to see all the information. So maybe you will not able to see the latest version of the UltraPath. We have first the documentation tab where you can find the guide for using UltraPath, for installing UltraPath like this. This is the connectivity between the OceanStor Dorado and Windows operating system. In this example, I told you that installing and configuring UltraPath, it's a quite different on Dorado V6 than on Dorado V3. On Dorado V6, on the host, you should be aware that set the host access mode to asymmetric mode. But in Dorado v3, you should be aware that when using UltraPath function, this is for Dorado v3. In Dorado v3, when you are using UltraPath on the host side, in I will show you in the lab exactly what I'm talking about. So this is our lab. In the provisioning, we will choose host. I already create a host with a Windows operating system. We will choose that host, and then we will choose the initiator and the property of this. We can see here that we have the function for use third-party multipathing software. If you enable this, this means that you are not using UltraPath developed by Huawei. So it means that you are using different vendors, like for example MPIO. In this scenario, you are able to enable this function. Without this function, it means if you disable it, you are using UltraPath function. So let's think that suppose that we are using Multipath software not developed by Huawei. When using third-party multipath software, it means that this parameter is displayed only after an initiator has been added to the host. If LANs have been mapped to the host before you enable and disable this parameter, you need to restart the host after you configure this parameter. Do not enable you do not need to enable this parameter for a host with UltraPath already installed. We have the function switch over mode. What is this about? It means that the path switchover mode can be chosen. The system supports the following modes. First, it's early version of the ALUA. This is the default value of the switchover mode for an upgrade from an earlier version to the current version. We have some versions supported for this. All these versions supported for the early version ALUA if you want to use it. You can find it in the documentation, which I will share with you in the end of the training. Another one is common ALUA. The storage system version, it's not all the versions are included. So the exactly version supported for Dorado v3 or v6, which are supported, will also be found in the guide. Another function is ALUA is not used. It means that does not support ALUA or hypermetro. This mode is used when a host such as HP or V2 does not support ALUA or ALUA is not needed. The special mode, this is used when the OS of the host supports ALUA but is not supported in common ALUA. The storage version which are supported and the firmware, I mean here, which are supported, it can be found in our product documentation. I will also share with you all this information. This is the path type, which can be non-optimal path and also optimal path. In the hypermetro scenario, the value can be optimal path or also non-optimal path. When the hypermetro works in load balancing mode, you should set the path type for the initiator of both of the local and the remote storage array to optimal path. So these settings, it must be enabled and set on also on the primary storage and on the secondary storage. You should enable ALUA on both of the hosts on the storage and the storage array. So ALUA must be enabled in the storage and in the host side. When the hypermetro works in the local preferred mode, you should set the path type for the initiator of the local storage array to optimal path. And on the remote storage array to non-optimal path. So this scenario is just when the hypermetro is working in load preferred mode, not in load balancing mode. If you are using hypermetro in load balancing mode, you should choose set non-optimal path. You must know that you need to configure initiator according to the requirement of the specific OS. It means here that all the initiators added on the single host must be configured with the same switchover mode. Otherwise, host services may be interrupted. After configuring an initiator switchover mode, you must restart the host for the configuration to take effect, because otherwise you will not, the function will not be implemented. So that's why you need to restart it. This is about UltraPath configuration guide. The UltraPath configuration guide, I told you that it can be found on our website, and we will start with this, but I didn't show you. This is UltraPath, where the UltraPath resides. We will have here the upgrade guide about the UltraPath, but we want to know the user guide. So the user guide is here. We can choose the user guide for the how to install the UltraPath on the Windows, on the AIX, on the HCIE, but in our example, we will choose the UltraPath for the Windows. We have the principal function of the UltraPath, which describe how you can use UltraPath, what is useful this UltraPath, how settings can be made on your host, but all the information about installing it can be found on the installation tab. Let me check your message. I just saw. The VMware has a different multipathing solution by default, but you can use it also for the VMware. Just a second. Okay. For the VMware, as you asked in the chat, we choose the UltraPath Dorado, the Dorado V6, and we will choose the operating system VMware. We will choose VMware HCIE 6.0. And the multipathing option that we have, it's UltraPath by Huawei, or as I told you, the VMware have a default multipath solution, which is called NMP. As you can see, the HBA card which are supported, it's different vendors. We have different vendors because we choose not to use Huawei Multipath software developed. So we choose the default one for the VMware. And the Dorado V6, which are supported, it's 6.1.0, 6.1.2. But this firmware version of the Dorado V6 is supported for this option that we have here. For different host bus adapter, we have different version of the firmware. So you can consult this this website for the compatibility first. I think in our lab we already have VMware host used and installed where you can. Okay. We have here on the software download UltraPath version. We will choose this one. I choose this version of the UltraPath because I can see that it's supported for the VMware HCIE. I will give you all this link on the end of the training. You can download the UltraPath VMware HCIE from our website here, and if you want to, you know how to install it for the VMware. You just need to check the installation guide for the VMware. Where is there is no VMware OS listed? No, do not interrupt me. You can ask me everything you want. No problem. So this is what I'm talking about. It's okay. You are welcome. If you have more question or if you have technical question, you can share with me on the email. I will write it my email address. And you can ask me everything you want, how to install it, how to configure it, which version of support, and I will share with you after that. Local storage system is Dorado v6, but the remote storage device supported is this. The VMware HCIE version that I choose is 6.0, and the UltraPath function which is supported. In here you can see that the command is to configure the UltraPath. It's up ADM. This command is used to configure the UltraPath. It can be run in the CLI. Before of this, I show you how to install and uninstall the UltraPath, and where you can find this guide and also the patches for UltraPath based on your operating system. You can use different operating system, as we talked about, like Windows, VMware, and other one. And that's all for the UltraPath guide and for the UltraPath description of this function. But for sure, maybe you have more questions. Maybe you have different scenario where you can implement and use. That's why I wrote you my email address. We can discuss there all the information that you want to know. Maybe you want to implement different scenario that is not already supported. Maybe you want to install UltraPath on a different operating system which are not appear in our website. So you can write me an email and I will create an RM for you. And then I will reply with the RM number and the RM process where you can check it in real time, how the RM and your specification are implemented and tested in our lab. So in the end, we will receive an email and or maybe a message from me if the RM is implemented or not, and if not, why it's not implemented and when will be implemented in the future. So this is all about our training about UltraPath. I hope we will meet you again in the future with different training. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mihai. Do you have, okay. If you have some more questions for Mihai, you can still type them in the chat box. For now, I just want to quickly present the Huawei Enterprise Support Community, which is hosting this webinar. For those of you who are not already members of the community, this is a quick overview. This is a technical community, the official forum for all Huawei Enterprise product solutions and certifications. We already have over 220,000 members, including engineers, students, customers, Huawei experts, partners, and so on. You have an extensive knowledge base with over 61,000 posts to learn from. We have monthly webinars and activities, both technical and non-technical activities. We have a public recognitions and reward system for the most active members. This year, we have launched the Elite Users Program, which is rewarding the most active members of the community, the Hall of Fame, high coins, which are the virtual currency of the community, which you can use in exchange for the gifts in the online shop. As I said, if you are not already members of this community, I highly encourage you to join us, because you'll have many things to learn and many things to gain. I will leave the forum link here. Mihai, can you go to the next slide, please?
Sure.
Okay, so right now in the community, we have a dedicated post for this webinar. Here, I will also upload the video training. So in case you missed some part of it, or you want to go back to it and maybe use the information, I will upload the training there. And also we have a forum Q&A session. Mihai will present 3 questions, which are based on this training. If you want to participate in the Q&A session, I invite you all to leave your answers there under the webinar post. And we have 10 awards of gift cards, Amazon gift cards. But First of all, before commenting, you have to either register if you don't already have an account or log in. I will also leave the link here in the chat box in case you want to participate in the Q&A session. And also, if you have some questions related to this topic, we also have experts there in the forum who will attend to your questions, and you receive a solution very fast. So if you still have some doubts or questions, go there to the forum, and our experts will give you the solution. If you don't have questions, you can still participate in the Q&A session and win a reward. Okay, this was it for my part. Now we will see the 3 questions. Like Mihai said, they are all based on this training, so I think you already know the answers if you were paying attention. I will also update this post after we finish this session. I will add the questions there in the forum as well. So now I will just let Mihai present the 3 questions.
Okay. So we have the first question, which can be true or false. The first question is about the UltraPath, which is supporting just the QLogic FC HBA card, no other one, true or false?
Yeah, just please don't answer here in the chat box. In order to have a chance to win, you have to reply in the forum, like I said. This is the link. So you should go here, click on this link that I just sent in the chat box. And if you want to participate in the Q&A session, please reply there in the comments, not here, because the answers which are given here will not be taken into consideration for the rewards.
So I will wait for them to go in that link and answer to the first question. Then we'll go for the second question.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I will. You can go through the questions, and
okay.
Then they can go to the forum post and reply there. So don't
Great.
worry.
Good. The second question. The app admin command can be used to scan for disk. We already talked about this in the training. True or false? No explanation, just true or false. The third question, it's a multi-answer question. Which of the following function does UltraPath have? Optimal path selection, failover, I/O load balancing among paths, and failback. The answer is multiple choice. You can choose 1, 2, 3, or 4 correct answer. Yes, don't worry. We have all the time. I will go back if you want to check the second question again for the first one. I think it's not so hard question. There are some related to the training, so I think you should be able to answer. Write it here.
Don't worry. The questions will also be. You can write them here, but
Okay.
I will also write them in the forum post. So now Mihai is just presenting you the questions, and after that, I will update the forum post. It's fair for you to be the first ones to see the questions. That's why we are presenting them here first. But then I will also update the forum post and add the questions there. I will send it one more time. Thank you, Mihai.
Welcome.
Okay, and since we are still here, I would also like to invite you all, if you have some topics which you would like to see in the next webinars or trainings, some topics that you'd like to know more about, of course, Huawei Enterprise related topics. Please also let us know in the forum, because we are always taking your feedback into account. We are trying to find the best experts that can present the topics you want to learn about. So your feedback is very valuable depending on what your products or solutions you are working with in your day-to-day work. It would be very helpful to tell us what you need to learn about, what you are preparing for. Maybe you are preparing for a Huawei certification.
Yes, I will show.
Yeah. So if you want to learn about something in particular, please let us know there in the forum. You can also write me a private message in the forum, and I will take into account your feedback all the time, trying to find the best people, the best experts that can present those topics. Okay, did everyone see the 3 questions? I think Mihai also wrote them there. Yeah. Okay, so for now, does anyone have other questions on this particular training? You have to answer all the 3 questions in order to get the reward. 10 participants in the Q&A session will be chosen for the rewards. Yeah, so all 3 questions. Okay, so if there are no other questions for now, thank you all for joining. Thank you for attending this webinar. Thank you, Mihai, for hosting.
Thank you very much for attending.
If you guys have some other topics in mind, please leave your comment there in the forum. And maybe Mihai will host again in the future. This is actually his 2nd time hosting for us. And yeah, see you all in the next webinar, I hope.
Okay,
So
thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for attending the training. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Have a nice day or evening, depending
You too.
on where you're from.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.